So you want to get your friends into whiskey? You're sick of drinking by yourself? You really wish that you could enjoy a pour with your significant other, or your wife, or your girlfriend, or your boyfriend, whatever. The age-old question when it comes to that is this: what's the best way to do it? That question has been asked over and over and over again. I have my opinion, but my opinion doesn't matter today. The opinion that matters today is the opinion of most, that being the best way to start people on whiskey is with a low proof offering. So today I'm going to go through a handful of bottles that are under 90 proof, but still pack a flavor punch that'll get your friends bringing you out to lunch to say thanks for sharing your bourbon. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I do have a bottle that is an outlier. Should I have included it in this video? Probably not. But due to some circumstances, I included it. So while I tell you about today's video sponsor, hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and prepare yourself to be overwhelmed by underproofed whiskey. Today's video is once again brought to us by our great friends over at ZBiotics. ZBiotics is the world's very first pre-alcohol probiotic drink, created by PhD microbiologists. And it was proudly genetically engineered so that you can drink tonight, but have a good day tomorrow. Using ZBiotics is super easy. You just take a ZBiotics, you give it a good shake, you put it down the hatch before you start drinking alcohol. Stay hydrated, drink responsibly, try to get a good night's sleep, and the next day, when you wake up and expect to feel crummy, you will say, "Thank you, ZBiotics, because I can enjoy the day." Little known fact, when you start drinking, a toxic byproduct of alcohol builds up in the gut. That toxic byproduct is called acetaldehyde, and it's responsible for making you feel like ass the day after drinking. The super smart scientists at ZBiotics engineered ZBiotics to produce an enzyme in the gut that fights that toxic byproduct of alcohol. If that was all a bit too scientific for you, I totally get it, but just replace enzyme with good time, because when you have a ZBiotics before you start drinking, the next day, it's gonna be a good day. ZBiotics is so sure that it will work for you that they offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So click on my link in the description below or go to zbiotics.com/ADHD. When you use code ADHD at checkout, you'll save 15% off your first box of ZBiotics. Thank you so much to ZBiotics for continuing to support the channel, and thank you viewers for supporting the companies like ZBiotics who make these videos possible. Now we're gonna begin this list of best bourbons under 90 proof. I said under because there's like an epic motherload of bourbons at 90 proof. But if you're hell-bent as a beginner on a low proof whiskey offering, these whiskeys should be right up your alley and directly up your ass. If you're new to the channel, that's just something I say that means that you like it. Or you like it a lot. Starting off the list is a bottle from the Buffalo Trace Distillery. It's ringing in at 86 proof and is the cheapest bottle of the bunch. You can get your hands on one for about 20 bucks. If you can find one in your market. Asterisk, asterisk, caveat, whatever. And that bottle is this Benchmark Top Floor. It says on the label, elevation matters, so you know that they took it extra seriously when they crafted this 86 proof bourbon. It's a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey from the Buffalo Trace Distillery, and the barrels that they selected for this blend came from the top floors of their rickhouses. The bourbon in this bottle is a minimum of 4 years old, but whiskey aged on higher floors, according to Buffalo Trace, tend to age more rapidly, quicker, because the heat at the top of the rickhouse is higher due to ergonomics and astrophysics, which neither of those is true. But bigger words make you sound smarter, don't they? Benchmark Top Floor. Sticking with the same distillery, this is the only allocated bottle on this list, I think. And you don't run across them in the wild very often, but sometimes you get lucky and you'll run into a Total Wine or something like that, and it'll just be sitting on an end cap. Or if a Buffalo Trace order got delivered at your local liquor store, this one will probably be the last one to go. Why is that? Because the proof is so low. It's an 88.9 proof offering from the Buffalo Trace Distillery. It's Hancock's President's Reserve bourbon whiskey. These are all single barrels, so each one you buy will probably differ slightly from the last. But if you're into sweet cherries and like decadent vanillas in a thinner, less oily atmosphere, out of this lineup that I'm going to show you, this isn't my favorite bourbon under 90 proof, but it is a super solid offering from Buffalo Trace if you can find it. Herbie Hancock's. Next up on the list is the first age-stated bourbon in the bunch. It's a 12-year-old offering from Kentucky, a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. I believe this is Heaven Hill distillate. And fun fact, if you're unable to ever find yourself an Elmer T. Lee, Old Medley 12-year comes in the same bottle. It's got the same glass. Old Medley 12-year, an 86.8 proof offering. Doesn't look extra fancy. It's not gonna like turn any heads. It does have a nice vintage old school styling and label to it. And the bourbon in the bottle kind of follows that same path, the same mentality. Has a bit of a dusty library book note to it, substantial oak, a slight bit of nuttiness, and is a great bottle to have on the shelf if you want an oakier profile at a lower proof. Old Medley, 12-year. 12 years old. Back when I was 12 years old, we built bike seats out of bear's feet so that we could scratch our ass while we was riding. Next up on the list is a bourbon whiskey that I've spent a substantial amount of time talking about on this channel. It's a Colorado company, but the bourbon was sourced from MGP in Indiana. I'm talking about Tin Cup 10-year. Tin Cup 10-year once owned the throne in this garage for best bourbon under 90 proof. And if you find yourself shopping for a Tin Cup 10-year, some of them say bourbon whiskey here on the neck, others say American whiskey on the neck. But have no fear, whichever bottle you procure is all straight 10-year-old MGP bourbon. Most other Tin Cup products are a blend of bourbon whiskey and American single malt, but the 10-year is all bourbon, whether it says American whiskey or bourbon whiskey on the tag. Sweet cherries and oak, my goodness gracious, Tin Cup 10-year is no joke. It even comes with a little cup, a little cap, like the miners used to have, so that you can drink out of a metal cup if you find yourself in a situation where you need to drink out of a metal cup. You can get one of these for between 45 and 55 bucks. Now for the oldest bourbon on the list, and the one that comes in the coolest bottle. It's an 86 proof Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey that I believe is distilled at the Old Bernheim distillery, so Heaven Hill distillate. It's I.W. Harper 15-year. Some people absolutely love the bourbon in this jarro, and other people would not drink it today if there were no tomorrow. It says on the neck tag, anywhere, anytime, it's always a pleasure. And this is where I have thoughts in my head about things I would say about me that are always a pleasure, but then I decide not to say them because I would end up editing them out, and the only person that would get to giggle about it would be me. And it would also be a lie. This 86 proof I.W. Harper 15 comes with a topper and a cork that you should definitely be well aware of is dangerous. If you or a friend or a family member see this sitting on a bar and would like to turn it upside down to give yourself a pour, then you just grab the bottle like this, right? Wrong, because it's kind of fat, and if you have little hands like me, it's kind of a weird grab. So the best place you think to grab it, and the easiest place to grab it, is from here. Unfortunately. Shit, why is it holding now? Are you? No way. Are you French kissing me with a firecracker? I can't believe this. Normally it just falls right out. Oh, now it's really in there good. Never mind. Oh, America. Whew. Oh, this smells good. Butterscotch, oak, and golden raisins. I just recently picked this bottle up, and soon, very soon, it will be going head to head with my current favorite bourbon under 90 proof. What whiskey will it be competing against? To find out my favorite bourbon under 90 proof, you probably guessed it, 2 bottles. Tin Cup 14er Batch 1 and Tin Cup 14er Batch 2. These, like the 10-year, 84 proof. These, like the 10-year Colorado Company, distilled in Indiana. So, straight MGP bourbon whiskey, but with 4 more years on it than the 10-year.
How will release 2 fare against release 1 and I.W. Harper 15? Tune in to find out, you sons of bitches.
And those are my favorite bourbon whiskeys under 90 proof. You don't want to just run to the store and pick up anything under 90 proof. If you go to the store and pick up any random whiskey or bourbon under 90 proof, a lot of them being 80 proof, you're going to taste the cheapest offerings that distilleries produce. And in my opinion, there's no worse way to get somebody to enjoy whiskey by giving them shitty whiskey. So, if you're determined to try to get somebody into bourbon, or you yourself are trying to get into whiskey, do yourself a favor and your friend a favor by offering them something that has flavor, not just flat ethanol, corn, and nutty notes. Get something with some depth and something with some character. And that's why I presented these bottles today, is because I believe that these offer a lot to be tasted by those who are new to tasting, if that makes sense. Okay, we made it to the end of the video, and now I'm gonna show you the bottle that originally was gonna go in the video, but didn't make the cut. When I first decided to shoot this video, I thought it was gonna be a quick and easy experience. Grab the bottles off the shelf, shoot the video quickly, go edit it, bang, bang, boom. But I wanted to include one whiskey that I couldn't find in the room. And by room, I mean garage. Heaven Hill has an offshoot brand called Evan Williams. And Evan Williams 1783 American Hero Edition is something that is of high quality and super cheap. The original Evan Williams 1783 bottle I could find. And I was like, Matt, just use the regular 1783 bottle and tell them to get the American Hero Edition instead. They'll understand if you couldn't find it. But then I got a little bit hard on myself and said, dude, find the bottle and put the bottle you want to show on the video. So I found the bottle. After I dug through this hot garage for about 45 minutes, developed a sweat, probably a heat rash under my man breasts. Unfortunately, Evan Williams 1783 American Hero Edition and the regular Evan Williams 1783, they increased the proof from 86 to 90. And I forgot about that. So it didn't make this video. 1783 American Hero Edition is a 90 proof offering, and there's a million other 90 proof offerings that are better than this, but for 20 some dollars, the American Hero Edition Evan Williams 1783, also a good pour. And I don't care that it's 90 proof instead of under, because I spent a lot of time on the floor of the garage. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't. Subscribe if you're not. If you are subscribed, then do me a huge favor and tell a friend about the channel. Tell your whiskey group about the channel. It's free and it's one of the best ways to show support. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey, like I always say. Keep your head in the clouds, but your mind on having a better memory. And if you can't remember to do that, then keep your mind on trying to remember that. Just keep your mind on trying to remember to have a better memory. Because I knew that 1783 increased their proof from 86 to 90. That's why I bought the original bottle of the 90 proof. Because I was like, oh, it's a higher proof, let's shoot a video. And I'm pretty damn sure I shot that video. I'm gonna start doing some brain exercises. Yeah. Like brain push-ups and brain sit-ups and brain jumping jacks. Whatever it takes to get my memory back.